little things going on all around this storyline as it goes forward. There's a guy named Yuri Hassan. He was at Princeton, still there. And he did some research. And one of his main research thing he became famous for was this thing called the brain sync. And what he did was this. There was a Russian woman. He had a friend of his come in to where they're doing the studies. And he put her in an fMRI machine. And they watched her brain. They recorded where her brain looked as she told a story. He said, tell a story. And while she told the story, they recorded the audio of it while it's recording what her brain is doing as well, right? So while this is going on, then he has her tell it in Russian, same story in Russian, and they record what's happening in the brain and record what's happening audio-wise. There's that. Then they bring in different people. They bring in students, I believe, to be the test subjects. And what they do is they put them in the fMRI machine, and they play them the audio of the Russian woman telling the story in English. And as she's telling it, certain parts of her brain light up. When she talks about colors, some part of her brain lights up. She talks about being somewhere or feeling something, another part of her brain will light up. So when they put the other people in the fMRI as well, and then played them the audio of her telling the story, the same things would happen to their brain. When she talked about color, a specific part of her brain would light up. The same part of that person listening, their brain would light up. You'd start talking about feeling something kinesthetic, that part of their brain would light up. And this went on for, I think it was 12 minutes. I don't know why I think it's 12 minutes, but I believe that was the time. Did this to a bunch of people, right? Then as they did that, the first thing they did was play in the English version. Then they played the Russian version. When they played the Russian version, nothing happened. The same parts that didn't light up. It was other things that happened, and they were different for each person because they're not following the story. Now, when those parts of the brain start lighting up together, the two different brains, that's when he calls it a brain sync. That's when they're locked together and they're going through the story together. That's why when you're helping someone pitch or teaching someone to pitch their idea, their concept to sell or to get funding, you want them to do this, tell a story, because it locks that person in with you and they start living that with you. You see it in movies where everybody jumps up at the same time because they've seen somebody not just jump out of the closet, but they're getting ready to, and everybody starts getting all fired up for that. So what she's doing is what I call the mini sync. With these small stories, she starts off and she gets a tiny little sync going with it, telling you something, then stopping, then going forward, although it's part of this big story that she's telling. And we see these things called, and you see cons do this constantly. That's why y'all know my fascination with cons and psychopaths. Cons and psychopaths will do this to get your attention, to get you to bond with them really, really quickly. That's one of the keys to getting somebody to give you money, to fall for something. That's one of the biggies, is the mini sync. I don't know if it's been named before, but that's what I'm calling it. But we see those as we go throughout this big sync of the story. Now, I'll stop there. I can keep going and going, but
so much.
Yeah, there's tons of it. Chase, what do you got?